Fantastic, Doug. And again, thank you so much for coming online and being our participant this week on our global call here in Australia. Okay, and we just want to thank you wholeheartedly for number one, okay, being who you are, okay, as our CEO at Zinzino Global, and the incredible job you're doing. And what makes this worthwhile is this incredible annual report, which we're going to talk about tonight. But first up, I'd like to give the viewers, okay, and the people watching our replay, just a quick history lesson about when you joined the company and a quick snapshot of who you were before you made that decision to join Zinzino.
Thank you. It's good to be online with you, Rob. Thank you for being patient with me for 1 minute. I just hang up with Örjan, who is on his way to United States, the founder and or main man in the sales and the partners. I came on board in Zinzino about 8 years ago, January 8 years ago, fully as the CEO. I started like half a year earlier as a management consultant for hire. So I did a strategy for Zinzino, worked through that. That was when we made the decision of moving in from a Scandinavian Baltic country. Thank you for listening and goodbye. He was bored already. Sorry, guys. So we made a decision, Rob, to make this company from just Nordic Baltic country to expand to the world. So we made a decision of moving into the United States. We did that like 7 years ago, I think. About before that, I have done or have been in different companies, large operations like Alcatel, a French company, the Dixons Group, and Telia. I think it was number 9 in the telecom industry in the world. So my background is engineering and economy, and management. So that has been but to my heart, Rob, sales and marketing has always been the thing for me that was kicking in. So sales and marketing, that's where the golden egg and how you're taking care of the company. But I like all the different parts. I like logistics. I like accounting. I like IT, progress, process. I like products, product development, machinery, factories. That's keeping me alive. So all these things that we are doing is making my day, to be honest.
So that decision, when you actually made that decision about 8 years ago, Doug, I mean, obviously Zinzino was a much different company 8 years ago compared to where it is today. Can we talk a little bit, just for the viewers, about a quick 3-minute history lesson of where it was 8 years ago to where we are today?
Yeah, so to give you the fully answer, I met Örjan in 2001, and we have always been kind of business friends, if you understand. So we've been keeping in touch. We both are readers, and we met like 2 to 3 times per year, where we gave each other books and talk about different topics about the world and the situation. So I think he tried to kind of hire me a couple of years before I So that was one of the things. And also I had started an executive search and management for hire company in Oslo, which went well, but I missed the dynamics about having people around me. That was more like a consultant based. We were a small fancy office, earned a lot of money. That was all good, but it was like project, if you understand. But I always liked being in an organization and developing an organization. When I came into Zinzino, we only sold coffee. That was the only thing. And we were kind of 20 to 25 tired employees watching. There was a lot of frustration. I think the logistics department they spent like 3 weeks to get from order was paid to it was to the customer. There's crazy things like that. It was to the extreme, and there was a lot of frustration out in the partner network. So the first year I took away. I remember we in Zinzino we have something called Leader Council. And the first Leader Council I was participating is 8 years and 1 month ago. I took away 30 different rules that constrained and kept all the partners just like this. So we just took them away, and they said, could we do that? Yeah, there's no problem. The only thing that we did in a meeting was to hand up stupid things that was a rule. So we took away a lot of rules. And in that year, we had 70% growth. And I think that taking away all those rules was one of those things, because made people happy, believing, dreaming. So I wouldn't say that I did a lot of things, but that was one of the things that we really do. Took away stupid rules. Yeah. Sounds like a fairy tale, but it's actually true. I can show you the numbers. We was 70% growth the first year I came in. Funny.
Then from there, let's talk about the growth, and let's talk about that takeover of the Balanced Oil company, and then obviously coupled up with the Balanced Test.
Yeah, so I think it was like April. I can't remember if it's soon 8 years or 7 years ago, but we met these two founders of those two products. You can show them again. Yeah. So they have developed, one of the guys, he had made keep the bottle up, or keep this bottle up. So he have made that by olive oil. He knew that omega-3s was really good, and he was actually using a different kind of type of oil. And he made a lot of studies. He worked in big operations. So he was founder in the age of, I would say, 52, 53. And then you put up the Balanced Test. That was kind of you wanted to show the Balanced Test, please. That's the Balanced Oil, Rob. Yeah. This beauty was made together with the University of Milano, and together with a university hospital, and they did a lot of tests. So the first time we met those guys, you can take them down now. Those two guys, they had a brilliant tool, in our opinion, because they had tried to sell this from retail stores and grocery stores and different places, but there was no one interesting because it couldn't be explained. So for direct sales, we thought it was a brilliant thing, because you sit to someone you care for, and then they have enough time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to explain to you what the test is. But we were, of course, pretty skeptical. We were skeptical, could this really be true? That was one of the things. We took a lot of tests. And when we saw the results that it gave to us personally, like for Örjan, I think he saved $2,000 per month in things that he needed to keep his stomach. I could run again like zebra. So for me, it was like, it gave me, from the fact point of view, the test before and after, that was a brilliant thing. And the product also gave me a couple of other things, like cravings. I've lost a lot of those cravings that I had earlier because I'm in balance. So was a brilliant product in that sense. And then we invested into the company and made an agreement that we can buy out the company if we want it. So that's what we did. We were smart enough, wise enough, long-term enough to think that maybe this could be something, we need to buy it. And we did 3 years later, when the sales was doubling, and you can see the coffee is now 3% of the total revenue. So it's nothing 7 years later. But of course, we've developed this, we've done improve things, but most of the things is out in the field, spreading the word, making sure that they understand the concept of the balance oil and the xenobiotic and the extend. I know that you don't have that yet down in Australia, but that's a concept that we're selling pretty heavily here in Europe.
So tell us about that transition then. Okay, so you've gone from coffee into a balanced oil, balanced test company. Talk to us about the growth rate and to where we are today. And then let's talk about what's happening 2019 and onwards, where you predict you can take this company in the next 5 years. So if you're a leader or a networking person or a customer sitting here listening to this recording, you'd make a decision and say, yes, this is quite an interesting company.
Yeah, good question. So first of all, I would say that what you guys are doing is pretty interesting now, because now you're building the foundation. And we did that the first half year. I had a meeting with Arian yesterday, and we were talking about the old day, how we introduced the balance oil, because going from a coffee, we took it really seriously going from a coffee company. So we went out there, talked about all the ambassadors, and really took the test and made them understand the power in this product before and after. So we took the time to do all the testing in the transition, and took a second and the first and before and after test. So we did a lot of different things over the last 7 years, and the growth has gone like this, and then we stabilized, and now it's turning again. So we went really well for a couple of years. We had like 70% growth, 40% growth, 30% growth, and then we were stabilized on, I would say, 11 and 13 for 2 years. Yep. And that was we did a transition on the IT side, so that was holding us back a little bit, because it was too much of friction and problems that we had back in 2015 and 2016, I would say, and we even had issues in 2017, I would say, because of that. Not because we had IT issues, but because of the belief system went down. So I would say that one of the things that we've done lately, the last year, is that we haven't done a lot of new things. We kept things as it is. We just improved a lot of things that we have, like the web page, the Zinzino web page, the marketing material. The info Zinzino was updated in 2018 with someone you worked together with closely, Randy Gage. So we made an info Zinzino, we made an express start, we made a business presentation and the customer presentation. We made all of those things, and the lead time from you do something great until it's out there into the field and gets fired takes time. So 2019, as you probably know, we had 33% growth last year, but the trend was even better. So I think like in Q4, it went up with some percentage. I think it was 50, almost 50, 40, 45, 50% growth in Q4. So the trend is your friend in that saying. Yeah. So I believe for the next years, we're aiming for between 30 to 50% growth. And it depends which market. Like my expectations for Australia is maybe 100, 200% growth for the next years. Comes to Asia, it may be 1,000% growth. But of course, in more mature markets like we have in Scandinavia, having 30% growth is pretty amazing, to be honest. So it's depending on which market we are going into. And we are going to launch and open a lot of new markets on top of all the things that we do. So that is, that's going to keep us young and ready, Rob, to kick the world and make sure that we are growing for the next years. So we have a target of 1 million customers, which we will beat in 2023, I guess. And then we have a target of 100 million customers by 2050 and 20 million customers by 2035. And all of these numbers is quite small if you look at really big companies. But for us, this will create an amazing company in direct sales. Stable, good growth with 30% growth for the next 20 years. That will create it. That will do it.
Yeah. So if you look at you from your side as a CEO, okay, you've seen this good, stable growth. Instead of having those peaks where people, you see the $1 billion peak companies that take 3 to 5 years and they're doing $1 billion a year, and then they drop as fast as they build. What I noticed with our financial figures is that we've got this beautiful, stable customer retention, program, and they stay on the product. That's quite fascinating when you look at it as a consumer model or as a direct sales company.
Yeah, and you're totally right. It's fascinating. We had that. I remember my presentation 8 years ago in Dominican at the director trip, or that was a diamond trip back then. And I said, sustainable growth. I just hammered sustainable growth. And we started the journey, and we've done a lot of changes. So if you look at the comp plan today, if you look at how we're setting up things today, you see that customers and keeping customers is really important. It's a part of our compensation plan.
Yeah.
Getting 4, getting 10, getting 25. That's really important. And the demands that we have on our partners to really get customers. The only thing I believe in is that if you have customers and they are happy, you will get a return on your investments. So that's why we're doing that. And if you see the growth that we have had the last years, you see that the customer growth is exact the same, even though we are growing as fast as we do. I see that some other markets, companies, they come into a new market and then they have a serious hype.
Yeah.
And that's when things is just crashing. So you can do that, but it's that's a different kind of company than ours. I don't mind having 100% growth 1 year, Rob.
Yes.
But it has to be sustainable. It has to be with customers.
Yeah, and Doug, that's what I find right now. And as you know, last March 2019, when I got involved with the company as well, I saw it as a ground floor opportunity. I remember talking to you about our plan of attack we had for Australia, and that curve that we've now got has been a sustainable, perfect curve that we built those foundations here in Australia so we can take a customer's order or a partner's order, we can pick, pack, and ship it on time and correctly, and we can pay their commissions on time and correctly. I think globally, we've truly got that. In how many countries now? 35 countries?
About. Yes, about.
Yeah, so when you think about that, as an opportunity for somebody looking at it today, it is really the right time. If I was joining a company, now is the time where all that hard work's been done, where all these presentation books are done, where all the products are done. Now, if you could hold up the new version, okay, so this is what we've currently got. This is how, again, and let's talk about the new version, just why we're going to the new bottle and also the new design of the bottle, as in the labeling.
First of all, this is the new design that we have on different products, but it's molecules representing how deep we actually are changing a person, because it's actually down into your blood cells that you can measure this, and into your cells and getting your cells into balance. So this is representing the molecules and the cells. And that's how deep our products. So this bottle is just like an upgrade, and it's a little bit stronger than the bottle that you have today. From my perspective, it's a little bit more beautiful, exclusive in that sense. But it's stronger also. So that's an important thing for us when you ship those out in thousands and in millions. We've also done this to create, so all of these bottles, the new ones, have an all natural flavor. The olive oil and the fish oil is all natural, of course. but the flavor has been semi kind of the one that you have. The mint is not totally natural. Is it a lot? No, it's 0.4% of the total volume, so it's nothing. But just to make sure that all the partners doesn't have anyone who hesitate of taking the product because it's not natural, and it's when you need to explain, then you lose. So instead of explaining, you just sell them the all natural bottle. So we have that in the vanilla, we have that in the lemon, we have that in the grapefruit, and we will have that in the orange lemon mint as well. And we're keeping the old bottle as for now in 2020 to make sure that the transition goes well, so we don't lose customers, because that's a hurdle. One thing I just want to mention: a lot of competitors, they complain about Easter, they complain about the Christmas time and summertime when the volume goes down. And we had an amazing December. The growth in December was awesome, perfect, brilliant. But of course, there was a lot of customer volume in the latest 3-4 days, because they are using the products whether or not it's Christmas or not. So they were complaining, some of my competitors in the DSA meetings, about down periods. We don't have that down period. Not a problem.
And Doug, that I was remember I said to you, look, Australia, December it dies, January it dies. We've done in fact, January was the biggest month in Australia that we've ever had in 7 months, and I go, this is insane. But then I reflect to what you guys say, and that it's a customer model. People want the product no matter what. They don't care if it's Christmas. They don't care if it's Easter. And that's the great thing about it. Versus the network marketing model, where the partners go to bed, they go to sleep for a month or two, and then they wake up at the end of January. I didn't see that. And that's the first time in 20 years I have honestly witnessed and experienced that we had massive growth in a month of January. Outstanding from our side.
To be really fair, and I would say that those who are succeeding are working stable. They don't take 2 months off. So I'm talking about all the leaders that are part of the leader council. Most of them, they take a week of vacation, but they're on it. They are keep following up their business and their leaders, and they make sure they have good plans and a good structure. So, but of course, it is everyone needs some vacation, some times off. So that's good. The only thing that I can actually predict the volume in February now, because I know how much customer volume who is laying there, how much volume we are supposed to get. Yes. So that's why it's pretty easy to do production planning, for instance. This is things that a lot of people doesn't think of. But when we do production planning, and there's a rule of mine, and this for the logistics, and that is never run out of products, never ever waste products. So if those two rules is, and deliver on time, of course, that's 3 rules. There's a couple of other rules that I set up, but if you think about that, never ever run out of products. That's really important in our business, because you really threaten the belief system to a partner if you run out of products. Delivering on time is important, and the waste is just a waste, and it costs money, of course. So that's why you don't do that. But it's easy for us to do production planning when we know what we're going to buy and what we're going to need for the next 6-12 months. So we have predictions 12 months ahead of us now, and production planning. So all the volume is into the system of our suppliers in their own factory today. So we know what we're going to sell about, and then we adjust that with 10-20% depending. Isn't that beautiful, Rob? So the customer volume is not only making us better from the growth perspective and from the customers, but also from logistics part and accounting. Stable.
Fantastic. All right, let's close out the call. We're going to close up by 7:30. I want to talk about first up when we started this journey, okay, in March of 2019. Okay, so March 2019, the share price was about 10 krona, okay, Swedish krona. It's now trading around 32. What is the cause of that? Why has this massive influx happened? What do you see, and where do you see it going? I know you can't talk about the actual figures because we're a publicly traded company, but your predictions is, do you see it doubling again, or where do you see it going in the next?
I don't have any predictions. I never comment the share price. The only thing I can say is that we are paying out dividend. We don't own. There is no one. We don't have any debt.
Yep.
We own our own factory. We own our own brand. We own our own formulations. We are traded at Nasdaq. We have 15 years of history and experience and competence. A lot of good leaders, a really strong cash flow, and we have invested heavily into IT, logistics, competence. And you have been into, you know me, you know that a lot of companies, they spend a lot of money on stupid stuff. We spend money on the things that matters.
Yeah.
And investing in new markets. This year we will open 10 new markets, and we've done a lot of the costs already. We pay that money, like India. We've been investing in India for 2 years now. We've been investing in Russia for a year, in Ukraine for a small time. But all of these investments leads up to whenever we are launching them. So we are in a good position as a company. And when you see growth and when you pay out dividend, then the share price often reflects
it. Yeah.
how you do things. But I'm not going to comment that one.
All right. Well, I just want to close out, and I'm going to hand it out to you to close out for me. We've just actually, brought on board an incredible guy in the UK, Mr. Steve Morley. Okay, incredible pedigree and been in direct sales, knows the industry well, knows China well. We've also got some other really top level managements that's now also helping you run the world. When you look at Thomas, Andreas, and all the other guys that are putting this together. What do we got? 140 staff now globally? Is that what we got?
150.
So 150 staff. And, what I want these guys to understand, the ground floor opportunity we got, we're Australia, we're going into Asia, but we're also right now opening the UK. I've been blown away with the amount of European legs that are coming into Australia. In other words, people from Europe referring people as customers or partners into Australia. It's been incredible and never seen that before in direct sales. Okay, again, this is mind-blowing. Just your comments on where you see the globe going with all the countries you've got coming on board and people like the UK with Steve and all those other guys, how you see that coming together over the next 12 months and formulating a juggernaut of a company where I believe 2020 is going to be one of our best years ever as we go into the next century.
First of all, it's much easier for me to be leading this company today than it was 8 years and 7 years, 6 years, 5 years ago, because I got a lot of, persons, and you, and Art Jonek in the United States, I got a lot of quality people around me. So we are like a team. I'm a team player more than being like bossy. But I would say that we are going to open South Africa this year. We're going to open Ukraine and Russia this year. We are already open in UK. We're just setting up the market and do a lot of work in those markets. Europe is totally open. There's a few countries that we haven't gotten open yet. And we are inquiring and acquiring a company in Malaysia, as you know, who are in Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Thailand with 3 different direct sales licenses. I'm going together with you this weekend to KL, Kuala Lumpur, to have a meeting there, and we're going to start that up slowly and open Hong Kong and all the other markets. My dream is to open every market around the world, and we are within the next 2 years. I think that 20 new markets will be fitted into Zinzino. How well those markets is going to go depend on how the activity is going and what kind of leaders, because it's all about the leaders in the field. Those are the one who does the work. Those are the one who creates the volume, not us in the company. We can do service and put things together to make sure that everything is working for you. But we're depending on the leaders, and I'm happy that we're depending on leaders around the world, because that's what makes us great.
Fantastic, Doug. And look, as we close out, and please, guys, get this replay out to people, because it's important that people that are customers and also partners understand that there's an incredible person at the head of the company, but it's supported globally by obviously the staff and also the leadership of this company as you built this over the last 15 years. It's been an incredible ride. As I said, I've been here 9 months now, and just watching it has been just a great time of my life. Okay, so I really, truly appreciate the efforts of letting us do Australia the way we've done it, and the success that we're seeing here. So, Doug, I look forward to seeing you in the next day or so, and having a great time in making sure that we sign off on this company in Malaysia and help you build Southeast Asia to be the biggest part of Zinzino globally as part of the family.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate your time, mate. Talk to you soon.
Likewise. Bye.
Okay, bye.